Welcome, everybody, to the newest and best episode of M-Class Podcast.
Oh, God, now the pressure is on.
You better perform, Josh. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, God, good thing I do well under pressure, man. I'm, like, so good at doing well under pressure.
You're killing it right now.
Yeah, I'm really knocking it out of the ballpark.
So...
Remember when I watched the wrong episode?
I didn't get to introduce it! Shit! Yeah, Josh watched the wrong episode, everybody.
Well, it's a good thing that I've seen the episode that we're supposed to be talking about many times.
I'm Jeff.
And I am an idiot. I'm Josh.
This week we were supposed to watch Deep Space Nine. The episode is Duet.
I watched the Voyager episode, which we'll be doing in 2 weeks.
Hopefully he remembers everything.
I'll watch it again.
Ooh. And it's actually good, he told me.
I enjoyed it. I got a lot to say about it.
Not today, you don't.
What if I did this whole episode, just talking about that episode, and you did the duet?
Dude, I actually did an episode of Writer Club Radio, which is my other podcast. Plug!
Wow, look at this fucking plug.
I did an episode where I hadn't watched the episode we were supposed to talk about, so I just faked it for half the episode before my co-host figured out I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yo, it happens, man. It happens.
He was like, wait a second, did you watch this fucking episode?
And you were like...
I was like, no!
No. That's fucking great, though.
Everybody loved it except him.
That's fucking great.
He definitely hates it when you bring it up, so RCR fans, tell him about it. But on M-Class this week, we're going to be talking about the Deep Space Nine episode Duet, which is from the first season, episode 19.
One of the better episodes of the first season.
Yeah, I would say it's probably the best episode of the first season.
Yeah, you could see, like, kind of where they're kind of getting, like, the show a little bit at this point, right?
Yeah.
They're still kind of trapped on the station, which stinks, but...
That's fine. That's fine.
Well, this episode and the other episode that I watched have a lot in common, actually.
Well,
so that's a good segue.
The one thing I was thinking about is this episode has a lot in common with the TNG episode The Defector. It has almost the same exact type of setup, except there's a twist.
There's a crazy twist, yeah.
Like, and it really, like, attacks your heart from the twist onwards. But we'll get to that.
The twist is good. It's really like a logical twist, though. Again, yeah, like you said, we'll get to there. But like, it's not like a very like shocking twist. It's kind of like a simple twist, but you don't see it coming.
It's a simple twist, but it's so well done.
Yeah.
Jinx.
I think we owe each other a blowjob.
All right, guys, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
2 minutes. What, are we going for a world record?
We're going for the marathon.
For length?
I've already won the world record for length, Josh.
Oh, he's talking about how big his dick is.
He flipped the script.
Oh, what a twist.
So this episode was directed by James Conway, who was Ira Stephen Bear's favorite director on Deep Space Nine.
Why was he his favorite?
Well, he directed Duet, Necessary Evil, Way of the Warrior, which we did.
Oh, yeah.
And Little Green Men.
Those are good ones.
Those are all good episodes.
Did we do Little Green Men? No,
we have not done Little Green Men.
That's a goddamn good one.
I love that episode.
It's the episode that Futurama stole. That's how good it was.
He was actually in the running to direct Star Trek First Contact, but Jonathan Frakes won.
Frakes just like showed up and his beard like sparkled and they were like, Frakes is in, you're out.
Frakes is like, do you want me in the movie? Then I direct it. He pulled a Spock.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that at all.
No, that probably is what happened.
A little bit of a John Larroquette fun fact for you.
Oh, God.
This episode was written by 2 women.
That is a good fun fact.
Lisa Rich and Jean Kerrigan Fauci.
There you go.
Jean Kerrigan Fauci wrote Move Along Home, but we won't hold that against her. She also wrote Palisades Pool Party, which sounds great.
Is that a Star Trek episode?
No, it is not.
That would be a great name for a Star Trek episode.
Lisa Rich, the other screenplay writer, wrote the TNG episode Liaisons.
Okay.
And also co-wrote Move Along Home. It's weird that this episode is so good.
This episode has a 9 out of 10 on IMDb. That's a crazy
It's
good.
fucking great, dude.
That's really good.
Liaisons is the one where Picard meets the lady. He gets stranded on the planet and he meets the lady that's been there for 7 years.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
I don't know if they bone or not, but I like to think they did.
Picard did this?
Yeah.
What season is it on?
It's season Shut the Fuck Up, Josh.
I'm looking it up.
You gotta stop. Gotta stop.
It's later. It's, frick a dick.
Yeah, it's season 7.
Yeah, oh, there you go. That's probably why I don't remember it.
So it's season 7 is when TNG gets a little iffy.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it got taken off around then.
I think the past, like, several rewatches of TNG, I've skipped over, like, most of 7.
7 is the one that has masks in it, so...
That's the only one I ever watch, because I'm like, I gotta watch Masks.
Why?
And I watched the one where, like, what's the one with the murder on the ship, and they have to, like, figure out who did it.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that one.
It's not Masks. I mean, everything is good compared to Masks.
Masks is, they should have redid it.
They should have just been like, alright, no episode this week, everybody. We fucked it. Sorry.
They should have put a better mask on that episode and called it Double Masks.
Got him. Alright, so a little background about Deep Space Nine for those who don't know too much about it.
If you don't know about it, what are you doing?
What are you doing with your life?
You're a failure.
Jesus. Anyway, the Cardassians are space Nazis, and they occupied the planet Bajor, where the space Jewish people live.
Yes, it's very similar to the real-life event of World War II.
Yes, and so the Cardassians are just the fucking worst.
They're pretty terrible.
So we begin the episode as we begin every episode in ops, and everybody's being like, "This is how my day went. This is what I did when I was a little girl."
They love this. They love this. Fucking like, how was your night last night?
How many times did you fuck last night? I only did it 6 times.
You can do that in the future when you have like space Gatorade to like replenish your shit.
Space Gatorade.
I'm gonna get my hands on some of that space Gatorade.
If I ever time travel, that's all I'm going for, is that space Gatorade.
Have any of that Gatorade that lets you fuck all night? And they're like, what are you talking about? And then Bashir's like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
That was a perfect Bashir impression.
It was a little cockneyed, but...
It was perfect. So they're talking about, I guess Dax was like a fucking problem child, I guess. Like from the movie Problem Child.
In which one of her lives?
She doesn't tell. She's not telling.
The Jadzia life, probably?
Maybe. It couldn't have been, right? Because she had to be like the best of the best to get the worm in her belly.
I think they talk about that later, though, how she was like kind of like a slack off, and then she gets her like shit together or whatever.
Oh yeah, she like failed the first time, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, that was for other reasons.
Yeah, I think that was in this season actually. The dude who tries to like steal her gross stomach worm. Ugh. But anyway, a freighter appears, a Coberian freighter.
We all remember the Coberians.
My
from
favorite
this episode.
alien race. There's an alien later, like Kira's staring out of like a porthole into space, and an alien walks by in full fucking prosthetic makeup, and he's on screen for less than 2 seconds.
I bet you he's somebody's like dad or son or something, and they were like, I want to be in Star Trek, and they're like, all right.
All I can think of is that this dude was in makeup for 18 hours, so he could be on screen for 2 seconds.
Somebody needed to get paid that day, so they made a makeup artist do like a shitload of work.
Anyway, the freighter shows up, and they're like, oh, we have a guy on board who needs medical assistance. He's got Kalanora syndrome.
Oh no! All right, I remember.
And
this
Dr.
episode.
Bashir's like, I don't know what that is, and Kira's like, I do.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a mining accident at the Galatep labor camp.
Galatep. It even sounds like Nazi-ish.
Yeah. It's obviously not a labor camp. It is a death camp.
Yeah, it's a death camp.
Kira is the one who actually helped liberate this camp during the occupation, so she knows that everybody who was in that mining accident got Kalanora syndrome, and they're the only people.
Yeah,
who had.
It's the only place who. It's the only place where you could get it from, right?
So she's like, I want to go meet this great hero who was at Galatep labor camp.
Yeah.
When she shows up, it's a Cardassian.
Not a hero.
Ooh.
Fucking spoonhead. Oh God, where did that come
Christ.
from? I'm sorry. Look, I had family at Galatep, all right?
We got a real spacist here today.
Man, fuck the Cardassians at this point in time. Fuck them.
Fuck them in all points in time. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they sort of get it in the end. They see the error of their ways.
They do get it in the end, for sure.
They get fucked like real hard. So,
Side note, a little John Larroquette fun fact of the week for you.
Another one.
There was a series of novels, like I think maybe comic books, called Enter the Wolf, Star Trek Enter the Wolf, where the Cardassians appear for the first time during like old Spock's time, like during the movies times, and they're like, we want to join the Federation.
What?
And Sarek is like, no, they can't join the Federation because they're definitely evil, and I can tell. And Spock is like, you're being pig-headed, father. You have to give them a chance. Yeah. And it turns out to be a giant fucking Cardassian plot to destroy the Federation before they have to deal with them.
Cardassians. Look, I'm not saying that all Cardassians are bad. I'm just saying I've never met a good one.
Holy shit.
Except Garrick, but he's also a murderer, so I don't know.
There aren't... I guess Zial is a good example.
Yeah, but she's half Bajoran, and she, like...
We're getting into some, like, real race war shit in this podcast. Anyway... Kira calls for security, and the Cardassian dude immediately bolts out of the fucking room.
Yeah.
But Odo stops him, and he's like, going anywhere.
Good Odo.
And, Bashir's like, what the fuck is even going on here?
Yeah, they don't know, right?
Yeah.
The Federation is, like, kind of ignorant to this, like, fact. You'd think somebody would be on Deep Space Nine who is, like, an expert in, like, all things Bajoran.
Yeah,
you know
her
what I
name's
mean?
Kira.
Yeah, but, like, you'd think there would be, like, a Federation, like, liaison who was, like, here's what this was, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, not to make excuses for the show, but that was supposed to be Ro Laren.
Yeah, that would have been.
And then she was like, I don't want to do your stupid space show anymore.
What if Ro Laren and Kara were on the show? Oh God.
They would just constantly be trying to kill each other.
It would be great.
It would turn into Tom and Jerry starring two Bajoran ladies.
I like Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. Kira's like, look, this Cardassian's a war criminal.
Yes.
And Odo's like, what? I hate those guys.
Even though I also kind of am one.
You won't find that out for a few seasons though, so
we kind of whitewash over that one, like literally.
Like I'm dating a Bajoran at that point, and she forgives me, so it's okay.
We're good. Everything's cool, dude. Hang loose, and he does the biggest hang loose ever with his
look. Larry King forgave me on national television for my indiscretions. So.
Larry King. Oh man.
Anyway, so Kira talks to Sisko about this, and she's like, "Look, this guy's a war criminal, so we should shoot his dick off."
That's exactly the words.
And Sisko and Odo both go, "Ooh," even though Odo probably doesn't have a dick.
I don't know what that is.
I can transform into a perfect human, but I can't replicate the dick.
I can do a dick, but not a face. Like I can do like a huge veiny dick, but not a face.
Oh, just do that instead of the face.
I mean, he kind of acts like that. Am I right?
Oh no, this is good, Odo.
No, Odo's great.
Odo goes not so good later, but now he's good, Odo.
He gets a little pee drunk, let's say. I don't know what
Pee drunk.
Yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say pussy drunk, but I don't know what shapeshifters have. Probably not.
He goes goo drunk. But Sisko and Odo were like, well, there's nobody by his name, Eamon Maritza, wanted for any war crimes.
Maritza, what a great name.
Maritza is like such. I hear fiesta every time.
Really?
I just think of like a big sombrero. And
It sounds a little Latin, but it sounds also very German. And
Yeah,
like it's
that's
so
true.
smart. It's so smart, like how it's like Cardassian German. Like I love that. Whoever like made the names for this they're doing a great job.
I agree. I'm gonna guess
Maritza.
the two ladies we talked about.
Yeah, they probably wrote it.
But she's like, I don't give a fuck if he's on those lists or not. He's a war criminal, and I said so. So he is.
Well, yeah, like because the only reason you have what's it called?
Kalanora syndrome.
I was gonna call it Galatep syndrome.
Yeah.
The only reason you have that is because you're at Galatep. So
Yeah.
like, if he's Cardassian and he has it, there's a good chance he's a war criminal, right?
Yeah, there's no other way, really.
Like I don't care if you're like at like Buchenwald and like like you were like a filing clerk or whatever. Like you were there. You're gonna have to like answer for this shit, dude.
Yeah, and it's like you were just following orders or whatever, but those are some fucking horrible, heinous orders you were following.
That doesn't work anymore. That does not work.
No.
You cannot say that. I mean, the like Israel is still catching like fucking guards and shit. Like they're still fucking finding people who are at camps, and they fucking get them and they hang them.
As they should.
Yep.
And that's not my opinion on the death penalty, by the way, before anybody jumps into that shit. We're not getting into that right now.
I'm okay with the death penalty for Nazis.
Oh, yeah. Nazi's a different thing, so...
I'm kind of okay with it. You're kind of not a person anymore, so...
But, Non-A-Visitor has, like, the most fucking amazing delivery, talking about the conditions at Galatep and what happened to all the people. It really fucking gets to you,
Having watched it recently, I totally agree.
Yeah, Josh definitely watched it earlier today.
I didn't watch the wrong episode, so shut up about that already.
Stop bringing it up.
Stop it.
Stop thinking about it, listeners. But she gives this great delivery, and then she's like, I'm gonna go talk to Maritza. And Sisko's like, no, you're not.
That's a bad idea.
That is a bad idea. I'm gonna go talk to Maritza.
Yeah.
And...
Which is something that Kira probably really appreciated.
Yeah, she was so emotional at that point that she wouldn't have done a good interrogation, and she knows it. She's very self-aware in this episode.
Yeah, she knows, like any redhead, we all know what we are. We get it.
She's a space alien. I don't know if redhead plays into...
It's all the same. Trust me.
Klingons don't have red hair.
That we know of.
But it's on their heads.
I've never seen one. That doesn't mean that they're not around. Maybe in, like, the northern part of Kronos, there's redheads. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Now who's being spacist, Jeff? Now who's the spacist?
Cardassian. Fucking spoonheads are the spacist.
Wow, it's still you.
On that racism note, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Excuse me, I'm interested in the new collector's ornament from Hallmark.
Ah, the shuttlecraft Galileo from the Starship Enterprise.
Precisely.
You know, it lights up when you plug it in. And listen.
Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Spock here. Happy holidays. Live long and prosper.
Fascinating.
For a store in your sector now carrying the Star Trek ornament, call 1-800-HALLMARK.
Live long and prosper, right?
No, I'll take 5.
And we're back. With more M-class goodness for your
We
ear
definitely
holes.
did not talk about late 90s rap that entire break.
Holy shit, we actually did.
We should have recorded it.
We should have. That could have been the shoot the shit.
Oh, God,
Oh,
man.
well.
Ludacris, like old Ludacris.
Oh,
fuck,
yeah,
dude.
fucking Ludacris when he thought having really big versions of things was the height of comedy.
God damn, that reminds me of like 9th grade and like that was like a thing, man, right? Remember,
Yeah.
like even like Missy Elliott was doing that shit where she was like,
She had
"Here's
the,
a big thing."
inflatable trash bag
Yep.
suit.
The trash bag suit. Yeah,
I
it's
fucking
classic.
love that video, though.
Dude, she had that one song that came out like a couple of years ago, WTF. That song is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that song's actually pretty fucking good.
Dude, that
She
shit comes
didn't
on.
put out anything else. She was like,
Dude.
that's it, bye.
I'm going out on top.
Fucking,
That's a great song.
The Diplomats are still around, everybody. I just want you to know that. They're still out there touring.
I think like 3 people know who that is.
Jules Santana, Cameron, get your shit together.
Yeah, now who is offending the audience?
Oh, I get it. Okay, so anyway.
From earlier.
Yeah, I get it. From when we weren't
Because I
recording.
said if you didn't watch DS9, you're a failure.
Okay, if you don't know the Diplomats, you can get the fuck out.
See? I'm not even going to say that that's not right, okay to say. I agree.
Anyway, so Sisko goes to talk to Eamon Maritza.
Yes.
Eamon Fiesta.
Who's the guy who plays him? He's great.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. I guess I could look it up.
Harris Yulin is his name.
Okay.
He is in a million things. He's alive still. He's old as hell.
Holy shit. He's
in Ghostbusters too. He's the judge.
Oh yeah, holy shit, that's crazy.
The Scoleri brothers. That's him. Holy shit.
God damn, this dude's old as fuck. He was
He's
born in
in
1937.
He's younger than my
Oh,
grandparents.
dude, he was born in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
Or he was living in Tel Aviv. He was born in Los Angeles.
He still does stuff. Like, he's a working man still.
He apparently studied acting with Star Trek the original series guest actor Jeff Corey, if you need to know how old this man is.
I mean, that definitely puts it into perspective for me.
He's old as fuck. God, he's been in everything.
He is a face that you have seen a million times and probably never knew his name because I didn't know his name.
He was in Stuart Little 2.
That's where I know him.
That's where I know him from. He was in
He
Clear
shows up for all the sequels.
He was in Clear and Present Danger.
He was in that. He was in the X-Files.
He's done a lot of shit.
Man, he was in so many things.
This dude's been acting since 1977.
The year I was born.
Oh my god. That's not
No,
even
I'm not-
true.
I'm not that old.
You feel that old.
I'm no Gen Xer. I'm a millennial.
I-
My feelings are important.
Look, my feelings are important. Fuck you.
They define my reality.
Well, that's true. What is reality, Josh?
Well, I don't know. Whatever my feelings tell me they are.
There you go. So Sisko goes to Maritza and he's like, how did you get Colinaris syndrome? Like, you can only get that if you were a Galatep and you're a war
Yeah.
criminal. And he said, no, I got Patrick syndrome.
Yeah, it's
Which
different.
It uses the same medication conveniently, but I'm not a war criminal because of it.
Right.
And he's like, I wasn't even at that labor camp, Dumbo. I was just a file clerk on
How
Cora
do you
2.
even say it? I don't even know what a labor camp is. Where am I?
Where's my medication?
How come my kids don't call me anymore?
Aw. Maybe it's because of your fucking political beliefs, Eamon. Did you ever think of that?
Fucking space Nazi shit.
But like a Bajoran wakes up across the way, like a sloppy, drunk hippie Bajoran wakes up.
Now who's racist, Jeff? Jesus.
Fuck Bajorans. But anyway.
Wow.
He wakes up. I'm fine with Bajorans. I just really don't like the religion.
Yeah, they're a little preachy.
Yeah, there's something I was talking about earlier where I absolutely hate. I was talking to somebody about it. I absolutely hate
Wasn't me.
when television shows and movies and stuff are obviously written by a religious person, And
Oh,
they
yeah,
treat
yeah.
everyone in the story who isn't religious like they're completely fucking numbskull fucking idiotic.
That's why we have to watch God Friended Me and talk about it. We have to.
No.
We have to.
Maybe you can fucking watch that with somebody on one of the other million podcasts you do and talk about it.
I want to watch God Friended Me. I'm a fucking baby boomer.
But that's fucking like every episode of Deep Space Nine that's heavily about the Bajoran religion is just like, oh, you stupid non-believer.
Yeah.
And then it turns out they're right at the end every fucking time.
Yeah, this show does that sparingly.
It doesn't do it in this
though.
episode.
Not in this episode.
But he's like a Bajoran prisoner, a Bajoran filthy hippie wakes up in the holding cell and he's like, oh no, let me out of here. I don't want to be in here with this Cardassian.
Yeah. Racism is a two-way street.
He spits at him. He's like, bleh.
And then it goes bzzz against the force.
But Maritza's like, my life is in your hands, Commander.
Oh, yeah.
So Sisko goes back to his office and Bashir's like, yeah, we did a bioprobe and Maritza's condition is Kalanora. It's not.
He's a liar.
It's not Harry Potter syndrome.
I thought only little kids got Harry Potter syndrome.
The joke of the day.
That was a really good one. I only didn't laugh a lot because it was so funny.
Yeah, the funniest jokes no one laughs at because they're just so funny.
That's why I'm hilarious, because no one laughs at me.
So, like, Sisko gets a transmission from the Bajoran state minister.
Yeah.
Who's like, hey, I hear you caught a war criminal for us. Thanks. Send him over so we could fucking kill him.
So he can shove a hot poker up his dick hole.
And Sisko's like, well, we don't really know that he's the war criminal. Like, he hasn't done anything. He just came to this station because he was sick. We can't even hold him that much longer. And the
there's
fucking...
no reason to.
The state minister's like... threatens Sisko a little bit. He's like, he's our prisoner and we will have him. Understood?
Yeah. They're gonna go tell the Federation mom and dad about what's going on, right?
Yep.
And the Federation will be like, oh my god, we'll do whatever you say, Bajor.
Please, Bajor, please join the Federation.
We love you. We want the wormhole. I mean, we love you.
We don't know why we want you to join so bad, but we do.
We totally believe that your crazy religion is real.
The Federation, before the wormhole became a thing, that they were like trying to help Bajor and everything, makes sense.
Yeah, right.
But like the fact that they were trying to get them to join the Federation is a little weird. I guess it's like the Federation is just like, join us, it's best.
Well, I feel like, I think that like they were, I mean, obviously in TNG you see that the Federation is helping them or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think once the wormhole is discovered, that's when it starts. When they're like, oh, yeah, why don't you join?
I guess it could be. I mean, it's also that thing that, like, they see the planets in need of help, and they're like, we can help you guys. And they're like, no, the prophets will help us.
Like, I think the idea is that, like, eventually, if there were no wormhole, they would eventually join the Federation over, like, maybe, it might take several hundred years, or maybe, you know. But because the wormhole's there, they're like, let's go already!
Join the fucking Federation!
First stable wormhole? Hell yeah, dude. That's fucking valuable as fuck.
Unbelievably valuable, especially later.
Yeah, it also is a bad thing.
It doesn't turn out great.
Everyone sort of pays real heavy price for this wormhole.
Really, in the end, it turns out great. But for a long time, not so good.
Couple of billion people have to die. Oh well.
But Sisko's like, yeah, I get it. I get that you're threatening me. All right, bye.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this guy is straight up like, look, Deep Space Nine is a Bajoran station.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
It's their sovereign territory, right?
And Sisko's like, maybe you should keep my dick on your mind.
Damn, this episode is crazy with that stuff. And having definitely watched it, I also remember this.
This all really happened.
I saw it.
Josh can't contest it, so...
I fucking saw it.
But Sisko goes to see Kira at the Replimat, And Sisko's like, hey, can I join you? And she's like, I'm just leaving.
Whoa.
And Sisko's like, well, wait a second. I want Odo to take care of this because he's the chief of security.
Right.
And she's like, no, I can take care of it because I want revenge.
Yeah, I generally love her and Sisko's relationship, and these moments like really do it for me too, because like without these moments, like later on, like the friendship and like the weird like father-daughteriness that is going on with them,
Maybe a little. I can see that.
doesn't exist really, right? It's a little bit like that. Like he's definitely like someone who he's like a revered figure.
He's like
to them.
everybody's dad.
Yeah. But he's also like the emissary, right?
Yeah,
So, like,
she's definitely like looks at him like he's Jesus.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but
Which he is. By the way.
the Minister of State put Kira in charge of the investigation, but Sisko's like, well, I'm in charge of the station, so I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And she like appeals to him like she has to do this for all those people who can't, all those Bajorans who can't. And really, if I would have been captain at this moment, it would have gone a little differently.
You'd have been like, ship him out.
Because she's like, please allow a Bajoran to take care of this. Like, this is Bajoran business. I would have been like, that's not how the Federation works, lady. Like, we're not race-based. Like, it's not about whose race takes care of what.
Well, what's fucking complicated about this, I guess, and I don't know, is that like they're also like an entity now, and they're trying to flex their like sovereign muscle, right?
It's
like,
true.
Like Bajor also needs to be respected, and the way to do that is to mete out justice, and like so they have like from their point of view they have to, because like
it's true.
If they let him go, or if this gets fucked up, like that's another wound for Bajor, right?
There's absolutely a desire for revenge.
Yeah. And you know what I always say about revenge? Have I told you before?
No, tell me.
Living well is not the best revenge. Revenge is the best revenge.
I've heard you say that plenty of times.
It's true.
It is true.
You know what's better than revenge?
Double
Nothing.
revenge?
Maybe double revenge?
2 revenges? But, like, she's like, well, I'm your first officer, and you have to, like, trust me. You have to trust me that I'll conduct this investigation the way it's supposed to be
Which
conducted.
is a fair point.
And he says, you know, you're right. Like, and he calls Odo, and he says, look, like, Kira's in charge, and you have to deal with it.
Yeah. And Odo's like, fine, I love her.
Odo is like, I haven't developed feelings yet, so it's fine.
I haven't been contaminated by this human emotions.
But, the filthy Bajoran hippie gets let go.
Finally, he deserves his day in court.
He just gets let go. He doesn't even go to court. Odo's like, all right.
The drunk guy, right?
Probably. He was just drunk and disorderly.
They were like, who can we get to be the norm of this episode?
But,
It's a Cheers reference.
oh, I get it.
I know you got it.
Well, he's Morn is the norm.
Morn is the norm, but yeah, but he can't talk.
He's in this
so.
episode.
Of course he is. He's in every good episode.
But the filthy, disgusting Bajoran hippie says, tell me when that Cardassian's gonna get hanged, because I'm gonna get a half chub.
Yeah, they're gonna have a good time watching this guy die.
And so they both kind of like watch him leave, and Odo's like, I did a background check, and everything Maritza said so far has been true.
Yes, I do remember this. And then is this when he gets like the files from Galatech?
No, that happens a little later.
A little bit later? Okay.
Kira goes to talk to him first, and Maritza's having his, it's a little like Silence of the Lambs.
It's very Silence of the Lambs.
Maritza's behind bars for all intents and purposes, and he's having his stew.
He's very lector-y.
And he's like, look, were you at Galatep or not? And he's like, no, I missed the honor of being there.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot
And she's
about
like,
this part.
well, the results of your bioscan prove that you were there, so you're going to have to, if your lies are going to be this transparent, this is going to be a very short interrogation.
Right.
And he says, oh, well, I suppose I should make my lies more opaque then. And I was
It's
like,
a very
fucking
Cardassian thing.
So clever.
It's such a Cardassian thing to say. I love it.
He reveals that he was at the camp as a filing clerk. And
Right.
he worked under Gul Darheal.
Gold Darheal, the North Carolina Darheels.
Jesus
I believe
Christ.
Michael Jordan played for them.
But, like, he sort of, like, turns the tables on Kira. Like, Kira's asking questions, but then he's like, I don't think there were any atrocities at the camp. I think the Bajorans killed
Yeah.
each other.
It starts out that way. Where he's like, I think they did it. Like, it's very, like, like Bajoran on Bajoran crime, right? Which is, like, super racist.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the point in the episode where, like, having watched... I haven't seen this episode of Duet in a really, really long time.
Yeah.
So having just watched The Defector from TNG, I was like, this motherfucker's Gul Darheal. I can tell.
You know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same story at this point.
It's so brilliant, though. I don't want to...
It's great
so
that we're
good.
doing these back to back, actually, because
It's so good.
at this point it seems like the exact same story where
Right,
he's
and you're
the
like,
commander.
I totally know what this is.
Yeah, but like Maritza's like, yeah, Gul Darheal, he made up all that shit about the massacres at Galatat because he was trying to rule by fear.
Right.
He thought
it
that
was-
instilling fear in the Bajoran populace would keep them under control.
Right. He was a great man, right? Doesn't he
Yeah.
say? He's like, he is a genius. He's a great man. And you're like, oh, jeez.
And he's like, and now that I've told you all this, that I'm just a filing clerk and you're all disappointed,
Yeah.
why don't you release me? Like, if you're interested in justice and not revenge, then you should release me.
Right.
And then she just leaves. Mm-hmm. And she's like taken aback by this, right?
Right.
Because it really challenges her viewpoint. She's
Well,
trying
she-
to be as, like, unbiased as humanly possible, but in her heart of hearts, she wants revenge.
Right, she's Bajoran through and through. Like she really is like a patriot and a leader among her people. But she's also like the most Federation-y of all the Bajorans on the show.
That's
like,
true.
She very much like kind of inadvertently. I don't know, inadvertently is not the right word, but she very much like, whether by accident or by fate or whatever, really is sympathetic to what the Federation is, and like agrees most of the time that like how the Federation does things is kind of like the right way to do it.
Which is rare amongst the Bajorans,
Yes.
because usually when the Federation does anything, there's this huge Bajoran backlash against
Well,
it.
they were just in the desert for 40 years, right? To use that analogy again,
Yeah.
like they're children in the woods, right? They're not used to interstellar politics, honestly. Like,
there's definitely, like, you can see from their point of view that they're trying to stand up on their own 2 feet, and
Yes.
the Federation keeps grabbing onto them to help
the
them
parent,
up.
they're the parent,
Yeah.
and they don't want to be helped, but they need it. They do. They're fucked up. Their society's completely
Yeah, for
fucked
sure.
up. Like,
and it's like, from one side or the other, you see the point.
yeah.
Like, if fucking prophets forbid, if I was a fucking Bajoran,
right.
then I would definitely understand exactly where they're coming from. Like, we're
Yeah.
our own planet, and we
Well,
should be
they're
able to do
yeah.
what we want, how we want, and make our decisions on our own.
Yeah, and they're proud people too. They're
Yeah.
strong. Like before even before the Federation even existed, even before humans were in space, they were like doing things in space. Like they have a long history of like being artists, and their culture is very rich in lots of different things. And
Yeah.
then the Cardassians come and like literally and figuratively rape them, you know, and like dehumanize them.
It destroys all the progress they've gotten
Yeah.
up to that point. They're like reset to zero after
like-
thousands of years of progress.
It damages them so much that they put their faith in a zealot Does this maybe sound familiar?
Yeah.
in a bunch of different ways.
There's a lot of parallels happening here.
It's weird.
But I actually like Bajorans as characters. I just really hate the Bajoran religion.
What's great about the Bajorans is it allows you to see what it's like on the ground for like the Federation to have to like deal with these cultures who like maybe it's not so easy. Like I don't know, like after First Contact, like maybe it's just completely shitty for a while, right?
Yeah.
Maybe everything's just nuts and they don't know what to do.
Maybe we fucking shotgun the Vulcans in the chest.
Maybe we yeah. But maybe like I don't know, maybe like some societies just deal with it better, right?
And Bajorans are like super prideful.
The cards are also against the Bajorans. Like they are in no way in any shape to be doing this. Like
to the point where there are people making like vicious power grabs amongst the Bajorans so that they can come out on top.
The Federation is smart to do what they're doing, but in any other circumstance without the wormhole, they would not be doing this.
I mean, no, there would be aid for sure,
but not as close. Yeah.
The thing is, it's not like an opportunistic thing on the Federation's part. It's like the most dangerous thing in the universe just appeared right next to the planet Bajor.
Yeah, it's smart of the Federation to do what they're doing because, like you said, security-wise, like you gotta keep tabs on this shit, man.
And it's like the Bajorans have no capability of keeping this wormhole safe.
Yeah, their spaceships are like the fucking like space shuttle Discovery up there. Like they're just trash. Like,
they can't go warp. They're all like impulse.
Yeah, they're all slow ass bullshit ships.
And the Federation has to like protect this wormhole because the Cardassians are going to sweep in, take over Bajor again,
get the wormhole,
and then use the wormhole for their fucking murderous campaigns across space.
It's really like it's a chaotic, it's a nuts situation. Like the Federation, like it's brilliant the way that the show is written because it's so true of history on Earth. Anyway, like here's this problem over here somewhere, and you're like, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. It's like a fucking powder keg situation.
Yeah, it's like North Korea where you're like, that's gonna be a problem later. We're gonna need to deal with this at some point.
It's like the Bugs Bunny cartoon where they're on the ship and Bugs keeps throwing the lit match down into the powder keg room.
Yeah, and it doesn't go off.
And the Federation is Yosemite Sam. They keep running down and grabbing it and blowing it out.
Yes. Dude,
if they don't do it, it's gonna blow up.
It's gonna, and then it does. It's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. The show is amazing.
And this is all
like, we're getting we're talking about this from this one fucking episode, right?
Yeah, because it's all connected.
Yes,
that's the thing I was kind of lamenting earlier in the Discord, which you can become a part of for as low as $1 on our Patreon.
That's only $1. For $1, I mean, what can you even do for $1?
You can become a member of our Patreon over at patreon.com/mclasspodcast for $1.
Dunkin' Donuts coffee doesn't even cost $1. As cheap as that is. Wink.
Nope. Thank you, Dunkin' Donuts.
I love your coffee.
So I was talking to somebody I think I was talking to everybody on the Discord earlier about how DS9 and Enterprise can be kind of frustrating for this show in a way.
Yeah.
Because we can watch any episode of TOS, TNG.
Right, and we don't have
Voyager.
to give perspective to it.
Yeah. On DS9 and Enterprise, if you pick a certain episode, you're just going to be shitting spoilers out the entire episode, and there's no way around it.
It's impossible. It's impossible to not.
And it's all about context as well, like you said.
Right.
Like, you have to talk about the context that the episode is in, or it doesn't make any sense.
Well, as a fan, if you're a fan of this show, I would say try to watch as much Star Trek as possible beforehand. Yes. I know that's kind of like giving you a homework assignment, maybe that you didn't want or whatever, but like honestly, like just watch all the Star Trek.
Well, that's my favorite thing to hear when people say like this show got me into Star Trek. Like I'm marathoning through Star Trek right now.
That's awesome.
I fucking love that. I love to hear
Yeah.
that. Write in and tell us more about that, because I love it. Anyway, so our hero, Benjamin Sisko, gets a mean telephone call from Gul Dukat, everybody's favorite shithead Cardassian.
The best villain in all of Star Trek.
Yeah. Gul
He's
Dukat
up
is
there.
probably the best villain in all of Star Trek.
He's up there. Who's a better one?
I couldn't think of anybody, to be honest. Like
Probably
maybe I like
Khan.
Kang a lot.
Yeah, but he's not really that bad, especially later, right?
Yeah, and I mean he does have like this grudging respect with Kirk, even when they're against each other.
Yeah. Maybe probably Khan. Everyone likes Khan, right?
Khan's in like 2 things though.
I know, but they really like the Benedict Cumberbatch Khan. Wait, he's not Khan. Wait, he is.
Benedict Cucumbers. My favorite.
I like him as Doctor Strange. He's great as Doctor
I liked him as
Strange.
Sherlock. I like that show.
That show's good, yeah.
I was not a fan of him as not Khan, who actually was Khan.
I hate that movie so much that I don't even think of him as ever being in it.
You know what?
Because I do like him.
You know what the weirdest thing is? Like in the original series, they were like, "Here's Khan.
Yeah.
He's from India. And
Sure.
he's played by a Spanish guy."
Sure.
And
Racism.
then they had this thing they had this new Khan, and they're like, "We got a Khan. He's an Indian guy. And he's played by a white guy."
Yeah.
And nobody was upset about that for some reason.
Because it made so much little sense that what would you even be mad about?
It's apparently he looked. Here's the funny thing: in the comic book, somebody was trying to explain to me
God, no.
why the story wasn't as dumb as I thought it was. So they showed me
So
the comic book.
It made it dumber? Yeah.
Originally, he looked like Ricardo Montalban.
Sure.
And then
of
he
course.
had plastic surgery to look like Benedict Cucumbers.
Oh, is that why it's not dumb?
So-
or is that maybe why it's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard?
So he was an Indian man who looked like a Spanish man who got
In the
plastic
future, where it
surgery to
doesn't
be a
matter.
white man.
Where it doesn't matter if you're Indian or white or whatever, but sure, why not? Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Yep, that makes
All
sense.
stupid.
Jeff, here's why you're dumb and this is good. Oh, is that why I'm dumb?
Oh, well, I am dumb. I'm not gonna push
Did
back
you watch
against
the
that.
wrong episode? Because I did.
What episode did you watch, Josh?
I watched Counterpoint by Voyager, which also, spoiler alert for you, has lots of Nazi undertones.
Oh God, this is gonna be the fucking Nazi collection.
It's turning into the Nazi collection. Inadvertently, but I will say it's very where this is this is very Holocaust, and the Counterpoint is also very Holocaust, but like an Anne Frank way.
Oh no, this is too scary for me.
It's I will say this, I enjoyed it and I was shocked at how good it was. I'd seen it before. I forgot everything about it because it's Voyager, and there's like maybe 5 good episodes of that show.
This show's too scary for me, Josh. I can't watch this.
You're gonna get through it. You have to.
Anyway, so Sisko is talking to Dukat, and Dukat's like, "Look, you have to free this guy, or else
Yeah.
we're gonna be really mad at you."
Uh-oh. Oh no, the Cardassians are mad.
And Sisko's like, "Look, I'd love to release him, but like we don't know anything about him. Like if you could just tell me who I'm releasing."
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, "I think you're letting the Bajorans' thirst for violence cloud your judgment."
Oh man, what a crazy awesome use of like gaslighting. Like that's
Yeah.
such oh god.
He's
oh
like,
my
"Look,"
god.
He threatens him with it. He's like, "Yeah, we don't want you like allowing the Bajorans' hatred of us to like create tensions between the Federation and the Cardassians.
Yeah, it's
Do
your
you?"
fault. It's your fault if this happens. Yep.
Yeah, he says, if they get their hands on Maritza, I'm holding you personally responsible.
So at this point, like from Sisko's point of view, like if I'm a detective named Batman Sisko,
Right.
I'm like, why do they want him so much? Why do they want this file clerk so much? Right?
There
He's a
has
file
to be
clerk.
some reason.
Who cares?
Some important reason why they would care so much about him. Because he seems like he's an expatriate as well.
Right.
Because he lives on a planet that isn't Cardassian held.
Yeah, he just wants to, Seems like he doesn't want anything to do with Cardassia.
But, like, there's the great scene where the guy walks across the screen for 2 seconds. Where Kira's in the promenade, and she's, like, staring out the window. And Dax walks up, and she's like, remember me? I'm in this episode.
We're the 2 women on this show.
And this episode does not pass the Bechdel tests.
Nope.
Because they just talk about Maritza the whole time. She's like, what are you looking for out there amongst the stars? And she says, answers. And she's like, have you found any?
It's so good, Dax.
And then they kiss.
Wait, did you watch the fan fiction of your own thinking during...
I directed my own episode.
I really watched the wrong episode.
But she's like, she says Maritza says that, like, I care more about vengeance than I do about justice. And he might be right, you know?
Yeah, she's
like,
questioning herself.
I want him to be guilty just by having been at Galatep, regardless of whether he was responsible for anything or he's telling the truth.
Right. It's very wise of her. It's because, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I would be that strong. I'd be like, I don't give a shit if this guy was a fucking file clerk. He saw what was going on, right?
Yeah.
He's just as complicit in all of this.
And
that's how I would feel, but...
She's, like, very introspective.
Yeah.
She can see her own faults in a way that I don't think we would be able to.
Yeah.
Which is why she's, like, a military leader. And we're doing a podcast about this.
They're pretty much the same, Jeff.
Yeah, pretty much. But, Dax sort of lays it down, and she's like, it sounds to me like you're trying too hard to believe what you want to believe.
Yeah.
And you're not trying hard enough to see the truth of the matter. And if Maritza is killed without any reason behind it, then there's no purpose. It's not going to help anybody.
Right, it would just be as bad as the Cardassians killing Bajorans for no reason, right? To prove some imaginary point, right?
And Dax drops the mic and moonwalks out of the scene, never to be seen again.
It's crazy they still do the moonwalk then.
It came around. It stopped being popular for a couple 100 years. It came back around.
That makes sense. Just like harpsichords.
Just like Borat jokes.
My life.
Oh. So, Sisko, like, he looks into the Bajoran archives and he finds all this information about Maritza.
Yeah.
And he was at Galatep. He was the clerk. Yeah. And he also worked on Korra, too, at the military academy.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, he was teaching filing at the military academy.
He was the goddamn good file clerk, dude.
He was the best.
I don't know how you teach filing, but
I don't know. But
especially we have computers that just do all that shit for you.
He's apparently the best.
Fuck it.
But they also sent a photograph of Maritza from Galatep.
Yeah.
And they do the fucking Blade Runner, like, Quadrant C4 enhance.
Oh, they do the CSI enhance, yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense in Star Trek, actually.
But, they find, Amon Maritza.
Yeah, they're like,
he's
in the picture, right?
And it's a different fucking guy.
And they're like, what the fuck?
And they're like, shit, that's not him? Wait, who's that guy standing in profile? Like, zoom in on him and move the camera around the guy in front of him.
3D extrapolate this guy's face.
And
which
they
I guess
do.
You can do if you have scanners, right? Like, if it's a scanned picture, it'll take all the light in the room and measure all the light in the room.
That's true. And I mean, that's what a hollow picture is. It's supposed to be like a holographic representation.
Right, so you can totally do that.
And they like extrapolate his profile into a full picture, and it is the guy they have in the cell that they think is Maritza.
It's Maritza!
And they're like, but wait, that's not Maritza. That's Goldar Heel!
Double dun dun dun!
Holy shit!
That motherfucker was lying!
And we're going to find out more about his lies when we come back from these messages.
They say he butchered thousands.
He commanded a forced labor camp.
Now millions cry for justice.
Let me know when you hang the Cardassian.
But only one will stand against him.
Look at the hate in her eyes.
The war is over.
How many Cardassians did you kill?
We had no choice.
But Kira's battle has just begun.
He was there. He did it.
On the next episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the final stretch of this good fucking episode.
Oh god, it's so good already. But like you said, like you're like, oh, this is the
Defector.
It's the same thing, right?
It's the same thing with fucking, oh god, what is the character's name from the Defector?
Jarrok.
Yeah.
Admiral Jarrok.
Admiral Jarrok. Yeah, it's the same exact thing, right?
It's gotta be.
But Kira goes and confronts Darheel, who was Maritza.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we're gonna fucking kill you. And he's like, you can only kill me once, but I killed millions of you.
He's really mustache twirling it up.
He really is like a fucking cartoonish villain reveling in his monstrosity in this
He does
scene.
everything except try to tie her to some train tracks.
Pretty much. He's like, I wiped out the Bajoran scum because it needed to be done.
Yeah. He's spouting all the Nazi shit, right?
Yeah.
He's like, you guys were weak. You deserved it. You're shitty. You're shitty people.
And the scene goes on for a while, and it's very fucking... It's a little hard to watch because it's so, like, a Nazi espouting his fucking morality at you.
He gets real Hitlery. He gets real...
He does.
Like, the same type of, like... Hitler, like, head movements, like, all that crazy Nazi shit.
The important thing in his rambling, though, is he says, Kira, your cell, and he names it, whatever it's called, I forget.
Yeah.
But he's like, your cell was just a mere annoyance. And, like, they can kill me, they can torture me, it doesn't matter. Like, you lost. You can't undo my accomplishments. The dead will be dead forever.
Yeah.
And
what is the name of her cell? The
Pa Wraiths.
Shakar.
Yeah.
Shakar resistance cell, that's it. We got there.
Which I think is named after Shakar, the guy she boinks later.
The president she fucks a lot.
Yeah. She wears
also,
like an old lady
nickname.
nightie while they fuck.
Yeah. Also, the president known as Sir fucks a lot.
Why, sir?
He's a president. You gotta call him sir.
That's fine. But like, Kira's fucking like upset at this point, right?
Yeah.
So she goes,
Yeah.
She goes out and sits in Odo's office, and like Odo gives her booze.
Sure.
Like, here, this will make you feel better. It'll make you feel better.
Drink on the booze a little bit.
And he's like, you should go lay down and rest for a while. And she says, that's what Darheel would want.
Yeah, he's in her head, dude.
So I'm not, he's definitely in her head.
Yeah.
And she tells Odo, like, that Darheel said that the Shakar cell was, like, worthless or whatever. And Odo's like, well, wait, how did he know that? Did you tell him?
How did he know? Yeah.
She's like, no, I hadn't mentioned anything about which cell I was a part of.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have known who liberated the camp, right?
Yeah. So Odo's like, well, wait, like, Darheel was like part of the occupation. He wasn't like a cell hunter.
Right.
Like, how would he know which cell did what and who was in each cell?
Yeah, how would they know who was in it, right? Yeah, he wouldn't know that.
And he's like, this just isn't right. Like, what the fuck is up? Yeah. So Kira goes back in to talk to Darheel, and Darheel's like, oh, you come back for more, huh, you fucking scum? And Odo looks up all the Google searches for Major Kira over the past month. And Kira's like, well, how the fuck did you know I was in the Shakar cell? And Darheel's kind of like taken aback by this.
Yeah, he gets caught, right?
He gets a little nervous or whatever, and he's like, well, yeah, like, it's because of Maritza's filing system and how efficient it was.
Right.
And I learned your name from action reports. And he tries to turn it around, like, and make her pissed off again. Like, all the action reports that show that other people were trying to eliminate you scum like I was.
Right, but she's like, no, hold on. Yeah.
And, apparently there's like a vigil outside of survivors from Galatap. And Quark's like, how can I fucking fleece them of their money?
Dude, they're all like lepers. Like they all look like they have like space leprosy and shit. And
pretty fucked.
Quark is like, good.
Space
money.
lepers have space money.
Fucking classic Quark.
But, Eamon Maritza Google searched Kira on Korra 2 like 3 months ago. And Odo's like, Bashir, you're in this episode again now. Look into Maritza's medical records. And then Dax is in the episode again. And she's like, Gul Dukat is hailing you, Odo. He's responding, so go take it in your office. And now I'm done filming for the day.
I am going on vacation. See you next season.
But like Odo and Dukat have like a little back and forth that I love, where Dukat's like trying to play up the old "we're old friends" shtick, and Odo's just shooting him down over and over again.
Yeah, yep.
I love this Odo. Like early, like up until season 4, Odo is like the best character.
Great. He's great.
But Dukat's like, yeah, I'm not gonna give you the files, but like Gul Darheel's dead.
Yeah.
And Odo's like, what? But we have him here.
Right.
And even Gul Dukat's taken aback. He's like, wait, what? No.
Yeah, he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we went to his funeral. Like everybody on Cardassia went to his funeral.
My kids were there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We all looked at his fucking dead, bloated corpse.
We all looked at his fat-ass dead Nazi body.
And we loved it because we're all fat fucking Nazi pricks.
He does say that.
As far as Josh knows, he said that.
But it makes you question, because he's a liar. Like,
oh yeah,
Gul Dukat is a fucking liar. So, like, he is definitely telling the truth about being at the funeral, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, he gets upset. Like, he starts accusing Odo of, like, you're trying to discredit the Cardassians.
Right. So, like, do the Cardassians know that this Darheel, this version of Darheel is doing that? Like, there's all kinds of secrecy with the Cardassians. Like, and I always get, like, whenever I get to this part of the episode, I'm always like, so do they actually think that maybe it wasn't that the Darheel that died wasn't Darheel? Because like they're all liars.
I don't
right?
think so. I think the reason why they wanted this guy back so bad is because he was Maritza, a filing clerk who had all this information go through him.
Right.
They didn't.
But there is
no idea
reason, right?
that he was pretending to be Gul Darheel.
Right. So right.
So that's why Dukat is like immediately on the offensive, and he's like, "You're trying to discredit the Cardassians."
Right.
But, like, Odo's like, look, if you could give us access to those files, then we could prove what you're saying. And that's the only way we can prove what you're saying. So Dukat gives him access.
Right.
And Odo's very smug about it.
He wins. He got that point in the battle, right? It's all everything's a battle with the Cardassians. It's all a fight.
Here's a classic fucking Nazi move.
Yep.
Kira's talking to Darheel, and Darheel turns shit around on her and says, well, how many Cardassians have you killed?
Yep.
And Kira's like, well, I didn't keep count. He's like, I think you did. And I think you killed Cardassian civilians, too.
Right.
And Kira says, yeah, I regretted some of the things I did, but I had no choice.
It's different.
I had to fight. I was fighting for Bajor, and he turns that around and says, well, I was fighting for Cardassia.
Right.
We needed your resources to survive.
It's the same thing. There's good, there's bad on both sides. There's good and bad on both sides,
But there's
not!
Right.
Right.
There's always a worse side. No matter if both sides are bad, there's always a worse side.
Yep.
And he has a great line, a terrible fucking line that's great, where he says, "What you call genocide, I call a day's work."
Oh, that's such a Nazi thing to say.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
But Odo comes in and he's like, "Kira, I need to speak with you."
Mm-hmm.
Sidebar.
And good cop, bad cop. Yep.
Like, he and Bashir have figured out that the guy was trying to get caught.
Yeah.
And we go to commercial break before you can find out any more information. But we're not going to commercial break.
We're not going.
We're going straight into the command center where Sisko, Kira, and Odo are having a powwow.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a death certificate for Darheal.
So he's dead.
He is dead. He died 6 years ago from like a brain hemorrhage.
You know, that's probably okay.
Yeah, fuck him. He should have died more painfully, right?
It should have been worse. Yeah, brain hemorrhage probably wasn't good enough, or was too good for him.
But Kira's like freaking out. She's like, the certificate's fake. It's all a trick from the Cardassians. They're trying to get us to release him.
What's great is like I'm in the headspace of Kira. Like when I watch it, I'm like, what's the real reason? And that's what the Cardassians do. That's what they do to people. They make you so distrusting that you're like, what is the fucking real reason here?
And it's like Kira is trying to find a way for the Cardassians to profit from this.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, like, Sisko and Odo are trying to figure out, like, if the Cardassians don't profit from it, what's happening?
Yeah, they're seeing it from a more, like, objective point of view.
Yeah.
And I always fall into the Kira trap. Like, I sympathize mostly with her, because I'm always, like I was saying to you, like, does Gul Dukat know? And, like, that's like, knowing what I know about Gul Dukat and the whole show, I even still to this day, like, question. I'm like, and I know what happens.
That's the thing is, like, your place coming into this show knowing this stuff about Gul Dukat, Kira is the only one who knows that type of stuff about Gul Dukat.
Exactly. It's fucking fascinating. It's like these people are real fucking people.
Yeah.
It's crazy good.
You can see the point of view from any of these characters.
Yes.
Which is always the mark of a great character.
And a great episode of Star Trek, man.
Absolutely. But, like, Odo shows, like, further evidence that, like, at the day of the accident on Galatep that caused Kalanora syndrome, like, Darheal wasn't even on that planet. He was back on Cardassia. And he never had the condition.
Right.
And he's like, also, like, a few other things that aren't really adding up is, like, the prisoner who's claiming to be Darheal, like, quit his job, and he, like, paid off all of his, like, bills and, like, set up his fucking cleaning lady with, like, a lifetime of money. He used
These
the last
Cardassians love their cleaning ladies.
Like, he like, spent the last bit of his money on the ship passage to get to Deep Space Nine.
Right, which, like, why would he do that, right?
It makes no sense that a Cardassian war criminal would go to a Bajoran space station.
Yeah, you're just begging to fucking die. Like, you're just a fool, right?
And Kira's, like, enraged at this point. She's like, I don't give a fuck about any of this evidence.
I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. I'm with her, dude. I'll be like, I don't care.
He's going to Bajor and he's gonna die.
Yep.
And that's all it is. Yep. And Sisko's like, well, I haven't made that decision yet.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, you would if you talked to him.
Yeah.
I'm just going through this shit, like, line for line, because it's such a fucking good episode.
The end of this episode is so goddamn good. Like,
it really is.
It's like Twilight Zone-y. And not in, like, a creepy, ironic way, but in, like a it's a fucking roller coaster ride, man.
It really, emotionally, for sure, it's a roller coaster ride. Well, we also learned through Bashir, who's still in this episode, that...
I'm here, it's me, Bashir.
That's perfect. He's on the show now. That was him.
Thanks. I'm also on this podcast. It's terrible.
You lost the accent immediately.
I totally did. It's a little more like this. It's a little more like
bit.
Like it's a little gravelly. He's more soft spoken.
He does have a very soft voice.
I'll work on it.
You'll get it one day.
There we go.
Somebody wants to do an interview where Tapon interviews Samuel Clemens and you do Samuel Clemens.
All right. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. That is Samuel Clemens.
Well, can you get Samuel Clemens for this interview that somebody wants to do?
As long as Lady Guinan is there.
I did mention that like you mostly only ever say Lady Guinan, so they're probably just gonna have to. I
do Mark Twain on Cracking the Spine. I read things like Mark Twain.
If somebody did mention that, I don't listen to podcasts.
It's okay. When you're on them, you don't listen to them. Trust me.
But like he's like, not only has this guy been taking this stuff for Kalanora syndrome forever, he also takes a medicine that's supposed to regenerate skin after large-scale cosmetic surgery.
Oh no!
So Kira's like, he isn't Darhe'el. There's no way now. Like everything I thought about it is shattered.
This is like, so like after World War II, there was all those like boys from Brazil shit, right? Like, where there was conspiracy theories even back then where people were convinced, both on the side of if you were a Nazi or you were not a Nazi, that Hitler had gotten away and had moved to Argentina and got plastic surgery or something similar to like a facelift or something, and that he lived there till he died. He was actually dying when he was still in Germany. He had like what they think is Parkinson's, like he had tremors and stuff. But this was a theory that to this day, like, people believe, even though it's been proven not true, because the Soviets have his skull. Well, the Russians now, whatever.
Yeah, the Soviets.
The Soviets. Well, the Soviets then, obviously.
Yeah, you old motherfucker.
But this kind of turns it on its head, right? Where it's like, now this guy, this fucking filing clerk, is like so guilt-ridden.
We don't even know that yet.
Well, you don't even know it yet.
Yeah, we don't know why he did it.
Right.
The question is completely up in the air. Like, why would somebody do this?
Yeah, this is like crazy. This is like fucking crazy.
It would be like if like a Nazi filing clerk got plastic surgery to look like Hitler.
Look like Hitler. That's
like,
exactly my point.
Why would he do that?
That's exactly my point. Like, it totally flips it on its edge, and it's like, why would somebody do this?
So like, Kira goes back to like grill him on this, like, how could you have gotten Kalanora syndrome if you were on Cardassia?
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, well, that's not a real report. It's not a real report. And she's like, well, why are you taking that dermal regenerative? And he's like, he starts completely freaking out, like yelling for security.
Yeah, he's like, security, I'm done here. He does that.
He's trying to like run her off by like talking about like when they left the planet, he was angry that he couldn't exterminate every last Bajoran on the planet.
It's really remarkable, and the Harris, what's his name? Harris Yulin does a great job of like immediately the hateful things that he was saying almost turn into like a joke at this point, because you can tell he's like flustered, and he's not like, they're no longer like true anymore.
He's trying. He wants them to be true. He wants her to think they're true.
To do that as like an actor is like fucking superhuman, dude. Like, that dude is like acting his damn ass off.
There's like a fucking amazing moment where he's like, he's talking about like, it's not like Darhe'el isn't dead. Maritza's the one who's dead.
Right.
He was like
he's convinced himself of this.
Yeah, like he was a good for nothing, like hiding under his bunk, weeping like a woman, covering his ears because he can't stand the screams of mercy for the Bajorans.
He's like two people. He's like, he's got like multiple personality disorder.
He's like crazy. So angry in that second, and then he like sits back on the bed. And his entire demeanor changes, and he starts, like, crying.
He just loses it.
Yeah. And he just starts talking as Maritza again. It's like a fucking incredible acting moment.
It's amazing. It's fucking amazing.
And Kira,
I don't know how you audition for something like that, because, like, my God.
I don't know. Like, everybody who listened to that, like, fucking audio log that I did for, patrons knows I'm not a very good actor, so I don't know. But like Kira like turns the force field off, and she's like, "You didn't commit those crimes, and you couldn't stop them. You were just one man."
Yeah.
And Maritza's like, "No, you have to let them kill me. Like we need to be. He needs to be punished. Yeah. We all need to be punished."
It's very prophetic, and it's very sad. Like, it's so sad.
It really is.
But it shows, like, how different Kira is from the rest of Bajor. Like I said earlier, Kira is more Federation than Bajor. And this is season 1. So she's already starting to see, like, the wisdom, I guess, in like, why the Federation does what they do. Because, like, an eye for an eye is not going to solve this problem.
No.
Right?
Especially when it's both eyes being, like, cut out are completely senseless.
Right. It's a pointless, yeah. Like, justice is sometimes justice isn't revenge. Justice is justice. And sometimes justice is the person who doesn't deserve to be punished gets set free. Because that's what justice is.
Like, Maritza's plan from the beginning was he was going to become Darhe'el so that they could put him on a public trial and force Cardassia to admit its guilt. Force Cardassia to admit that the occupation was just death camps and murder and horrors.
Which we all know as true.
The Cardassians refused to admit and accept that, though. They created a fiction that everyone believed.
Who cares what they... Like, honestly, like... And I know, like, it's easy for me to say that, because, like, I'm not a part of any group that's been systematically exterminated. You know, I'm not Jewish, so I don't know. And we're far enough away from World War II where, like, you know, those people are dying who experienced it. So it's easy for me to sit here and say, like, it doesn't matter what they say, because we all know what's true. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, Maritza gets what he wants.
Well, not really, because he's shown to be Maritza, but, like...
No, but he is right, and Cardassia does get punished severely for
eventually.
The way they are.
The thing is, like... His plan is for Cardassia. It's not for the Bajorans. Like, it is for the Bajorans. He wants them to have, like, some modicum of, like, justice for what was done. But he wants Cardassia to have to change and be punished for what it's done.
It's a very Cardassian means of doing that, because, like, later on when they talk about that book where Garrick is talking about all the great written novels of Cardassia and how in the end everyone just sees the state, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, very fascist.
It's all about the state, and that's what Maritza's doing. It's the only way he can think to change the state.
Exactly. It's the only way he knows to change. And it's sad. It's fucking sad. And it's terrifying. It's fucking terrifying.
And Kira has another great line where she says, "You're asking for another murder and enough good people have already died. I won't help kill another."
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you, man, all good Star Trek lines sound like they were ripped from historical documentation.
And it's like I said so many lines in this episode because this script is fucking fantastic.
This is like a double home run of a script.
Yeah. It's like there's so many lines in this episode that are just amazing.
It's crazy.
But, like, they're letting Maritza go. They're going to send him back to Korra, too. And, like, there are officials there that are going to help him get back to where he was. Like, help him get his position back and everything.
Yeah, like, rebuild his life or whatever.
But he's, like, he still feels that he should have been put on trial as Gul Darhe'el, and that was the only way Cardassia was ever going to change.
It's it's so smart, and I don't know if they did it on purpose, or I don't know if later this kind of becomes like a foundation or like a stepping stone for making the Cardassians like this, but like, what a fucking Cardassian ass fucking technique
Yeah.
Just to lie and just be like, no, this is true now. It's so fucking Cardassian, dude.
The only way to replace a lie in Cardassian mind is with another lie.
Right.
Truth
bigger,
doesn't even
better
come
lie.
into the fucking situation.
Right. It matters. It doesn't matter.
But she has a very prophetic line for the entire series, but also for like 2 seconds from then. But she says if Cardassia is to change, it'll need men of honor like Maritza.
Yeah.
And then that fucking filthy, drunk hippie fucking Bajoran runs out of the crowd, stabs Maritza in the back, and kills him.
Maybe it is like Twilight Zone.
And he's like...
I forgot about that part.
Kira's like, why? Why would you do that? And the fucking hippie says he's Cardassian. That's reason enough.
Yeah, it's very... There's
a moment where Kira learns this lesson again later in the series.
Mm-hmm.
But after he says he's Cardassian and that's reason enough, she says, no, it's not. And that's more about her than it is him in that scene.
Yeah, it's like you're seeing that she is the future of Bajor and he is the past of Bajor.
Yeah, he hopefully got sent to fucking Rora Penthe or something for murder, but who knows what the fuck happened.
He probably just, got like 6 months, right?
Well, I mean, he did only kill a Cardassian.
Yeah, but people, here's the fucked up part. In people's minds, did he? Right? Like, in their minds, like, that guy was pretending to be Gul fucking Darhe'el, so he got what he had coming to him. Like, that's a cynical ass...
In people's minds, like, they don't care what the reason behind anything is. It's... He said it straight out. He's a Cardassian. That's why I killed him.
Right.
And... Like you said, he probably got 6 months because all he did was kill a Cardassian. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, we got bigger problems, right? That guy deserved it. It's very cynical, but that's how
that guy
people
deserved
think.
it. Like, the bigger problems is whatever, but
I can hear it.
They're like, that guy deserved it.
I can hear it like it's real life, like it's right now. Why was he acting like Gul Darhe'el? What was he expecting? That's what people would say, right?
Like, he was walking among Bajorans. Like, he should have known.
Shouldn't have been here. Yep. It's fucking sad, dude. It's so good. It's so sad.
This episode, leaves you feeling so fucking sad.
Dude, it's so... God, I love it. Oh my god, I love Deep Space Nine so much. I fucking love Deep Space Nine.
It's so fucking amazing. And, the thing is, this episode was fairly fucking cheap to produce because it all takes place on the sets.
Yeah, it's like two places. They act their asses off in it, though, man. Have you seen Nana Visitor lately? Oh my god.
What do you mean, oh my god?
She's beautiful.
Okay, I agree with that. I thought you were gonna say something negative. I was like, are you fucking crazy, dude?
She's ridiculously beautiful.
She's just as beautiful now as she was then.
God damn.
White hair suits her so well.
Oh.
She's absolutely beautiful.
Yep. Fuck. Now I'm thinking about Nana Visitor.
And another John Larroquette fun fact of the week for you.
Oh.
Ira Stephen Bear says that this is the first example of the long Cardassian monologue, which would appear in dozens upon dozens upon dozens of episodes.
Man, they really get some really good actors to play Cardassians.
That's true.
I don't know, man. Garrick is incredible. Gul Dukat is I hate Gul Dukat so much. It's like I can smell him. It's like I can smell the way his breath smells. Oh my god, he just makes me sick.
There's only one fictional character that I hate on their own merits, more than Gul Dukat. I enjoy seeing Gul Dukat. Is the difference?
Yeah.
I know you know nothing about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I don't even know what that is, but I'm gonna pretend I do.
It's an anime and a mango.
Oh, the kids are watching them these days.
Yeah. Well, in the first part, there's this kid named Dio who gets adopted into a rich family. And it's like during Victorian times, and he steals his adopted brother's girlfriend's first kiss against her will.
Okay.
And then kicks his dog into a fucking furnace and kills it. All the while he's turning the kid's father against him. And just being this giant fucking piece of shit. And there's no moment in all of fiction more satisfying than when the kid knocks the fuck out of him for the first time.
Yeah.
And he starts whimpering like a bitch.
Yeah.
And then he finds an ancient stone mask and becomes a never-ending vampire. And then Jack the Ripper jumps out of a horse's body and fist fights the main character who's become 1,000,000 pounds of muscle. And
Jeff, this is probably the reason I don't watch it.
That part gets fucking nuts.
I mean, it was nuts at the beginning of what you said. And then it turned into a fever dream.
Yeah, it really...
That's crazy.
They don't... The parts of the first parts, like, beginning and end, don't even seem like the same show.
Dude,
like, if you just watch the first episode and the last episode, you'd be like, what the fuck?
That's anime. Like, I know, like, everyone hates Inuyasha, and dude, Inuyasha's the same way. You're like, at some point, you're like, what are we doing? What is this?
Inuyasha is like fucking purgatory, where nothing ever changes.
You never leave. You can never.
It's the same episode every episode.
Oh man. My favorite thing about Inuyasha was the bumpers on Adult Swim that would make fun of Inuyasha.
The bumper that had them yelling each other's names for a full minute.
Inuyasha! And then I forgot the girl's name. Kagome! That's it, yeah.
It was fucking hilarious.
Eventually they just started being like, yeah, here's some more Inuyasha. We know you guys love it so much.
Some people really do, but like I could never get into it.
I hated that
Because
show.
when I first started watching it, they advertised it as like Dragon Ball Z for girls.
Yeah,
and I was like, I could get into that, but it's
Dragon
not.
Ball Z in the sense that it goes on for way too long.
That's all it has in common. Dragon Ball Z for girls is Sailor Moon.
That's Dragon Ball Z for girls,
and Sailor Moon is fucking dope.
Sailor Moon rules. Sailor Mars, and which is the green one? Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Yeah.
See, I liked Mercury and Venus.
Because it rhymed with penis.
Yeah. No, Mercury was the one with short hair.
Oh yeah.
And Venus was the one with long blonde.
Mercury is kind of orange, right?
No, she was blue.
Blue? Oh, blue? That doesn't make sense. Neptune would be blue.
Neptune's like one of the ones that are like no one knows who the fuck they are unless you like really read the manga or whatever. They're
because
just
they didn't go in the show.
They show up like once in a blue moon and they're like, "Hey, I'm another Sailor Scout. Anyway, bye."
I don't know if Neptune has any blue moons though.
I don't know.
It has a lot of moons. You know, Jupiter has like 106 moons now.
Yeah,
they like just
fucking ridiculous. Share some of your moons, asshole.
It's good that they do though. They're like the offensive linemen of the universe.
Well, yeah, everything fucking rams into one of its moons.
We really got lucky with that, Jupiter.
Yeah, it's true. We'd be fucked up.
It's probably why we're here, dude. Honestly.
Thanks, Jupiter.
Thanks, Jupiter.
Apparently, this is one of Nana Visitor's favorite episodes.
This is a great episode.
And I love it.
Man, I'm so glad I definitely watched it again.
Yeah, you missed out. You really should have watched it.
I mean, I've seen it like 10 times, Jeff.
You really should have watched it.
He's fucking right.
You fucked it, dude.
Well, I'm ahead for next time.
I can't believe you fucked it. The thing is, Deep Space Nine is so intricate of a show.
Yeah.
Like with TNG, I think you could be like, just watch any episode, and as long as they, like if they threw a dart at a wall full of episodes, there's like a 90% chance they would land on an episode that would make them love Star Trek forever.
Right.
With Deep Space Nine, there's a 90% chance they would land on an episode where they wouldn't understand what the fuck is happening and never watch again.
That's true. And like back 100 years ago, before internet, and even really before accessible DVDs, I would stay up to watch Deep Space Nine and it was stay up, meaning I could have woken up early in the morning. It was only like 5 in the morning where I lived. And I would stay up because I had to watch the next. They would show them all in a row. I think on TBS, I think they would show them all in a row. And like, that's the only way I could do it. And I don't know what episode it was I started on, but I had watched it a little bit when it was on, like, not syndicated, when it was on, like, for real, you know. But I didn't watch it all the way through. So I had to wait. This is the only way I could do it. Because back then, DVDs cost like $100 a season, which is fucking crazy. Like,
I mean, $100 a season if you were lucky.
Right. 120 maybe. You could get the whole series for probably like $500, which is bananas. Like,
that's still how DVDs and shit are in other countries. They're still like $500 for the complete series.
Thankfully, here they're like $30 for a season now, right?
Yeah.
Like, which is pretty good. But I'm still not buying like Blu-ray. You know what I mean? Like, no. I'm not gonna do that. Like,
it's like, that might be why I wasn't that into Deep Space Nine until we started doing the show. Mm-hmm. Like, I liked Deep Space Nine fine, but like, I would have a hard time picking a favorite Star Trek series between like TNG, Deep Space Nine, and sometimes TOS is there too. Yeah, it's like Deep Space Nine is amazing, but you really have to watch all of it.
You got to go through the whole thing, and that includes like the first season. Where there's a little bit less good episodes, but episodes like this really save it, I think. And really, I always say like season 2.5 for both TNG and Deep Space Nine, things really start cooking, you know?
I think season 3 is when we get bald Sisko.
Well, you get the Defiant in season 3, so that makes the show like immediately better.
It's growing the beard.
It's growing the beard and shaving your
beard
head.
Sisko.
I remember when they put a beard on the Defiant, and I was like, that's weird.
That's when it got good.
And the Defiant looks at the camera and goes, "It's 11."
Hey, Data got a beard in that one episode. Same shit.
Fucking Data.
It's just Riker. It's a fake Riker beard.
He goes back to his quarters and just replicates himself a Riker beard.
I think that was like... I think I've said this before when we talked about it, but like that was the big barrier for me when it came to Deep Space Nine is like, where's Data?
Yeah,
where's Riker? Where are my friends?
But by the end, you really feel the end of the show. Like, you're like, my friends are gone. Like, you're like, I'm not going to see my friends again.
That's how I felt when I transitioned like a couple years ago. We were watching through every Star Trek.
Yeah.
And we got at the end of Deep Space Nine and we started watching Voyager, and I was like, where are my friends?
Yeah.
None of my friends are on this show.
None of my friends are here.
Except that never went away.
Yeah. It stays with Voyager because you're like, I don't really like any of these people.
Can, like, most of these people just die? Like, what is
Janeway's fine, but like,
Janeway's fine, like, Tuvok is fine, I like the Doctor.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is, we could talk about this show for like probably like 2 more hours. We could probably talk about this show for like 3 more episodes, honestly.
That's true. We could talk about Deep Space Nine for the entirety of our run.
Oh God,
on this podcast.
If Deep Space Nine were a person, I would be my friend.
I agree. They would be Josh's friend. And also
and his name would be Jeff.
Oh, I'm the Deep Space Nine of friends.
Damn right.
And that 90% of the time you would turn me off if you saw me randomly.
90% of the time I'd turn you on. It's 11.
That's the M-Class podcast catchphrase, is just yelling uh-oh with a gravelly voice.
I'd buy that for $1.
Shirt it.
Uh-oh.
That's a classic.
Shirt it. Nice.
I don't know how to make money off the shirts. We'll figure that out eventually.
It's like super hard.
Anyway.
Just
Deep
like
Space Nine is fucking excellent.
Just like my dick.
M-Class podcast is fucking excellent.
I love it.
If you would like to follow us on internet, you can head on over to twitter.com and search up @MClassPodcast. Or you could shoot us an email and be on our M-Class email show, which we're going to record right after this. Spoilers.
You can't be on that one, but you can be on the next one if you haven't done it before.
Yeah, you could shoot us an email at mclassemail@gmail.com. That's singular.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be intimidated by the program. I've heard quite a few people say, "Oh, I don't know what to write in because I don't think it's gonna be as good as everybody else's." Like you can write in whatever.
You can just say whatever. It doesn't even matter, dude.
It doesn't have to be a question. It doesn't have to be a pitch it or ditch it.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like a skit with characters, which those are fun, but it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
You can literally just write in and be like, "Hey guys, I love your podcast. It made me do this, this, and that. Bye-bye."
And we'll read it, and then we'll talk about it.
It'll be great.
It's easy. Look, it's just easy. Just do it.
A couple more points for you.
Okay.
There, you can head on over to mclasspodcast.wordpress.com if you'd like to keep track of all the collections and episodes we've done in the past. There is a frequently asked questions section that you can get your FAQ on. And
what the FAQ?
Fairly soon, some of our M-Class patrons, specifically Spivsy, I believe.
Yeah.
God, I'm probably giving credit to the wrong person.
No, I was right. You talking about the thing?
What thing?
The thing that he posted today. That was Spivsy.
No, he made a wiki.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, there's an M-Class wiki. It is barren as fuck. But there is an M-Class wiki out there. Let me see if I can find that for you.
I put in
good
M-Class
folks.
wiki, and I got a Mercedes-Benz M-Class Wikipedia page. Is this it?
M-Class podcast wiki.
So we're not a Mercedes-Benz. Okay.
No, we are not a Mercedes-Benz.
I found it.
What is the address to that?
mclass.fandom.com/wiki/mclasspodcast wiki.
Oh my god.
Just put in mclass.fandom.com.
Yeah, mclass.fandom.com is
Yeah,
the Wikipedia page.
I might have fucked it up.
And head on over there if you would like to add to the wiki.
Add to it.
You can add whatever you want to it. It is very empty right now.
We have a lot of ads for stuff. Here's the She-Ra one. Let's go to the She-Ra one.
We got some dope ads for Big Lebowski merch.
Cool. I'm gonna buy a shirt
side.
that says that classic line from The Big Lebowski.
I can get you a toe.
Get you a toe by 3 p.m.
Yeah, it is Spivsy. He's done everything on here so far.
He made that thing today, which they won't know what today is, but today for us a week ago for you guys, where it's us. He edited us into an episode of Star Trek and then put Q in the Phantom Zone.
I fucking love that.
I watched it and I was like, what is this? And then I was like, oh, I get it. And then I laughed. I like cackled. I was like, that's fucking amazing.
I did fucking cackle watching that.
When I went,
immediately reblogged it, retweeted it on our M-Class Twitter. So you can head over to our M-Class Twitter to see that as well.
It's so good.
And I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for tuning in. If you would like to do more to support M-Class Podcast, you can head over to patreon.com/mclasspodcast. Become a patron today.
Do it.
You get access to the Discord where people like Cool Spivsy are at.
One Cool Spivsy.
You get access to podcasts that no one else has access to, like Jeff and Josh Shoot the Shit, where we discuss everything that isn't Star Trek. M-Class Etc., where we talk about Star Trek spin-offs, adjacent materials. The first episode's coming in a couple weeks, and it's about Galaxy Quest.
Oh, God, I want to watch that again tonight.
Galaxy Quest is fucking dope. Spoilers for the podcast, but
it's good.
It's real good, and we have a great time talking about it. So head on over to patreon.com/mclasspodcast and become a patron today.
Check it the hell out.
Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you in 1 week for more M-Class goodness.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
My wife.
Oh, I'm not editing this one. I can't cut that.
Oh, guess I won't either.
I'm mentally ill.